Language is the most important thing to share our information. Let it be between two friends, between parents, between the parent and child. Language is always important. So sometimes it becomes too crucial to learn a secret language so that we can pass our messages securely. We can write our diaries without letting others intrude into our data. So this we are going to learn a secret language, and here this is just a basic example. You can make your own language. I will let you know how to do it. So here I'm going to take one example message. Tunes, how are you there? So it can be any message, need not be this one itself, but this is just an example. So once you have said with your message, next what you have to do is you have to take a number between 1 and 25. I'm going to consider it as 2. If it is 2, then what you have to do is you have to move every letter in your message that 2 steps forward. I'm moving 2 steps forward because 2 is my key or my secret number. That means moving the letters forward. For example, if it is D, you have to move D 2 times forward. So it is going to be 1, 2. That means instead of D, you have to write F. Next, you guys take another example. So next letter is U. So it is U, move 2 times forward. So U, it's gonna be V, W. So instead of U, you have to write W. So instead of E, you have to write F, G. Okay, so G is the answer. This procedure you have to repeat. If it is H, it is J. If it is O, moving 2 times forward, make it as P, Q. Q is the answer. So instead of writing O, you have to write Q. Instead of writing W, you have to write Y. But another one, what if my answer, for example, if it is U, Y, O, U, I need Y. So instead of Y, what will I substitute? Again, it is 2 steps forward. So it is 1 and then 2. So instead of Y, you have to write A. If it is Z, then you have to write B because 2 steps forward. It's like rotation. You have to shift to the side 2 times. So instead of sending our message as dude, how are you there? That's a very plain message that everyone can understand. We are going to send it as FWFG because instead of D, we move forward by 2 steps and that is going to be F, and instead of U, it is W. So again D, it is F, and E, it is G. E, it is going to be FG. So instead of how, we can write it as GQY, R, it is CTG, U, it is AQW, and there it is VJGTG. So this is just a basic example. Here my key was 2. But if it is 3, then you have to move 3 steps forward. If it is 5, you have to move 5 steps forward. If you say, what if my key is 25? Then you have to move 25 steps forward. That is, if your answer is A, you are moving 25 times forward means instead of A, you have to write C. That is how we do it. So if you're sending your message like this, or if you're writing in a diary like this, no one else will be able to understand what you actually wrote it in your diary. So instead of sending this, try sending this one. And suppose if this is diary writing, then you can stop by this. But if you're planning to send a message to someone else, then you have to learn something more. If you're planning to share this message with your friend, then the one thing that you have to do is you have to share the secret key number with your friend too. Make sure that should be a trustworthy friend. So if you remember, our key was 2. So 2 you already shared with your friend or with your parent or with whoever it be concerned. And the friend has got the message FWFG, JQY, CTG, AQW, VJGTG. Okay, that is the coded version for dude, how are you there? So what the friend has to do is, okay, you already got the number 2. At the transmitter side, or our friend 1 has moved 2 steps forward. So in order to get the message back, the friend who received the message has to move 2 steps backward. So let's see how. Okay, let's take our alphabets from A to Z. Then moving 2 steps backward. And again I'm gonna say I'm moving 2 steps backward just because my key was 2. So if in my message it is FWFG, so it is F. So moving 2 steps backward means it should be ED. So instead of F, that means that is D. Then instead of W, what it is? Okay, I'm moving back. So W, it is VU. Okay, so instead of W, you have to write U. Then instead of J, you have to move back, so it's gonna IH. So instead of J, you have to write H. So what will be? So if it is Q, again Q, let's take Q, moving backwards, it's gonna PO. So you have to do like that. So at the receiver side, just move backwards 2 times and then replace every letter with a new one. So instead of F, you have to write D. Instead of F, you have to write G. Instead of W, you have to write U. Then again, F, we already know that is D. Instead of G, you have to write E. Okay, so if it is G, moving backward 2 times, F, E. So you will get E. So if you do like this, no one else will be able to understand what you guys have actually shared between you. And you can make your own secret key language by changing the key. This example was with k is equal to 2. You can take any value between 1 and 25 and you can easily share your message securely, and you can peacefully write your diary too. So congratulations, you have shared the messages successfully.